Hi there, so my name's Richard Davis. I'm the CEO at a company called Genius Energy Lab. Genius Energy Lab are designers of renewable energy systems, and we focus very specifically on ground source heat pumps. So we were kind of introduced to Citation when I started to do some research around us taking on the ISO 9001 and 14001 certifications. I really just wanted someone to declutter the whole process. It looked really complicated to me. I found the service, I spoke to the various people in the sales teams, and we agreed on a monthly payment which was absolutely perfect for us as a growing company, and we took on the service. We'd gone through a period of quite significant growth, and we'd taken on a general manager, and part of her role was to look at rationalising our HR. And I think at the time we thought we were doing everything we needed to do, but we didn't know what we didn't know. So we reached out to speak to Citation about the HR platform. But after we started to use the HR platform, we had various customers contacting us, and we have supplier applications that we have to go through. And as part of that, they asked us some questions about health and safety, which actually we'd not thought of. So we contacted Citation again and said, look, I think we would like to take the health and safety package. And that made answering all those questions on those big supplier applications much easier. We had some incidents at work, they were HR related. I needed to call the helpline. They were incidents even in my long career that I'd never experienced before. And as soon as I got through, it was answered really quickly. The team were really responsive. They took me through the whole process of what I needed to do. It was quite a challenging time for me emotionally going through it, and it was really nice that the person that I spoke to was very empathic. They understood, they were very calming, and we got through a very challenging time in a very short period of time. And that's one of the reasons why I'm here today, because I found that so amazing and such a good service that I wanted to be able to let everyone else know that, call that number. Don't not call the number. Call the number if you need any help with anything, and you'll get great support. So I couldn't rate that highly enough. And it's a bit like an insurance policy that you hope you're never going to need to use, or like a life insurance. But when you do need it, it's absolutely invaluable. Saved us loads of time, potentially lots of money as well. So fantastic service. And I have to say, absolutely yes. We're very fortunate in our space that the renewable energy sector is a growth area. However, if the pinch came and we needed to make some difficult decisions, I think that the HR platform in itself, having to make those difficult decisions and having to do that process correctly, would be invaluable, and the support that we would receive would be invaluable. So if I had to make difficult decisions in our business, I'd be looking at our cost base, but certainly I think that the value that I get from the HR and health and safety platforms would be way down the list, and I'd be looking at a lot of other areas before that. First thing that comes to mind is experts, extremely knowledgeable in their area of expertise. They listen a lot. So there was a lot of listening before they gave us advice, so they really wanted to understand our business, so they could really address all the areas that were most important to us, whether that be HR, health and safety, or ISO 9000, 14000, all those platforms that we took on. They're also very responsive, so as soon as that meeting had finished, practically the next couple of days I'd got a report, then that was discussed, all the things we needed to implement, how we implement them. So I've had really good experiences when speaking to several different experts at Citation, whether it be HR, health and safety, or ISO. So yeah, I've seen the new Atlas branding. I got the email yesterday. I was really impressed with how the old platforms come into a new navigation system. You clearly listened a lot to your customers and their feedback. Moving forwards, I'm also really excited to see the HR and the health and safety platforms moving across into that one new brand. I think it's going to be great to have everything in one place. I'm really looking forward to seeing how that looks. I speak to a lot of fellow directors of companies in networking events and stuff, and the HR and health and safety and ISO area comes up quite a lot, and I always recommend that they call a company like Citation. The reason for that is really because it removes the overhead and burden of having to hire in experts internally and all the associated cost. we outsource it to you guys. It's a really high value service and it's a very reasonable price. So yeah, I'd recommend it to all businesses to take a look at. I think it would have a pretty big impact on our business. I don't think everyone would necessarily feel it initially because there are a certain number of us that really do use the platform a lot in the management team. Even little things like holiday management would become quite complicated. And also we've got in Citation a lot of prompts to remind us if we need to do something. So whether that be getting someone's new business car insurance or asking a supplier for their new insurance policies when they're due to run out, all that stuff would then have to be diarised or put in a spreadsheet or something else. I wouldn't have access to any of the helplines anymore, which I find really useful. And I think we've become quite reliant on the Citation platform, and that's a really good thing as far as I'm concerned. If I had to sum up the service from Citation in one sentence, it would probably be quite a short sentence, and it's simply that the service from Citation is inspirational and aspirational.